Hey guys, how's it going? It is another Wednesday and it is time for the Geek Saga. I'm your host, Eugene, along with my other two hosts there. Look at, I got, oh God, on this side, right? Am I right this time?
Yeah.
This side, I got David. And then down below, down there, I got Dennis. What's going on, guys?
So gross.
How's it going? How you guys doing tonight?
Oh, we're good, man.
It's going good. I didn't have like a geek shirt, and then I brought this to give
Cool.
to.
Oh, look at that. A little self promotion there. Never
Uh-huh,
heard.
yeah. Well, this was actually supposed to go to David because he was going to be here at work, but I had to throw it on. So I still got another one at home, and I
Just
got
watch it.
Dennis. I got yours. So we are all going to be rocking some Geek Saga shirts. So now you guys see we do have shirts. Bam! That's the original logo there.
Yeah, look at that. They came out nice too.
Yeah. This was
Very nice.
designed by DPS Illustrations, and I just cleaned it up a little bit and sent it off, and bam,
Look at
done.
that. You hear that, David? He had to clean it up, he says.
It's all good, man. We all need a little
It
help from
wasn't.
our friends.
It wasn't like I had to clean it up. No, I'm just saying that I had to do the vectoring so we can send this off to these guys. But we also have another one, which is the Back to the Future one. And seriously, I don't know where that buzz is coming from. If you guys hear that too, checking everything.
I don't know.
Could be my computer. My computer's like right next to my setup over here.
Maybe. Well, all right, guys, enough of that. So, welcome to another edition of the Geek Saga, episode number 7. And this is, if you guys don't know who we are, I'm Eugene and this is David. We're two salty veterans that love geek stuff, along with our vet tech. See, we're keeping it in that whole thing. Vet. Our vet tech friend. Synonyms.
Synonyms.
Anemone.
Yeah, exactly. Anemone.
But we're all three serious geeks that love everything from video games to movies to toys, which I over the weekend was looking at some toys that I was going to buy, but I still couldn't part with the money that these things are costing now because
Oh,
God,
you should see my Amazon cart.
just
It's
filled.
terrible. It's full of Star Wars Black Series figures, Legos. I'm still trying to get the whole collection of the Destiny Mega Blocks that they made. So they're all just sitting in there waiting for me to push, like, yes,
Well, David,
I
you
feel
saw
you.
the video that I sent of Kevin Eastman showing the new figures from NECA.
Dude, that's my Amazon card is nothing but NECA TMNT figures. Like, I'm looking for shit to fill my back wall with. You know what I mean? I've got all the OG 80s cartoons toys in the house. I just don't have a shelf to put them up on right now.
Well,
And I was going to
I'm
wrap my
running,
Mandalorian.
I'm running out of space back there, so I don't know what I'm going to do.
So Dennis, I dug out because we were going through the shed. I have my Clone Wars helmet that I'm going to give to you. Yes. And then David, I found it's a glow in the dark little replica of a Raphael that I got from I don't even know where I got it from. So I got that out, and that's for you. So I got to get these things to you guys. But now you guys can start putting stuff up. And David, if you need a shelf built, just say the word, and I can build that too, and we can start getting your stuff together.
Build me a room so I can put the shelf in, and then build me the shelf, and then we'll be good.
Exactly. That's what we need. We need a room.
Dude, if
That's
we
right.
could all three be in like a little studio, that would be like epic. How sick
Oh,
would-
dude, I can put all of that stuff in there.
Dude, we would be surrounded with all kinds of, oh my God. It'd
Be
be
awesome.
amazing. So, but you guys aren't here to, well, you guys are here to talk, to listen to us talk, but I'm sure you guys don't want to just hear about us and our dreams because, yeah,
I mean, what are they listening to a podcast for if they don't want to hear us talk about dreams?
that's true. This is true.
True.
And you guys,
Quit
if you guys
backpedaling,
have,
move forward. Let's go.
well, so really quick, let's tell everybody where they can find us. You guys can, this is a little different. So you can find us at Comic-Con Radio, which is where is our we're part of the Comic-Con Radio family. So you can find us there. We have now 6 episodes up. This will be number 7 when it goes up there soon. And we talk about, again, whatever, anything geek you can find. And a lot of other great podcasts are on the ComicConRadio.com site. And some of our buddies up at Distance Nerding, which is shout out to those guys, which love those guys. We are actually going to have young Phil from Distance Nerding, who is a fellow veteran, actually come on, and we're going to interview him. And this time we are going to just talk about how he became such a huge geek and why does he run around looking like unicorn Deadpool. And he absolutely loves Deadpool. That's his biggest thing. So great guy. We're going to have him on hopefully either next week or the week after. And then also, we're going to try to get more veterans that we know to come on the show and talk about their love for geek, because it's not really promoted out there. So also you can find us on the Geek Saga on Instagram, the Geek Saga on TikTok, which right now we have a video that's up of one of our buddies here. It's freaking hilarious. And it's starting to catch some momentum. Dennis, if you haven't seen it, you got to see it. It's freaking hilarious.
I still refuse to download TikTok. So.
Oh my God, dude. I refuse to, but now that I'm starting to put more stuff up for us, I'm figuring out how to do it to where it's like Instagram, TikTok, Instagram and TikTok. It's just, I'm starting to flow. I'm getting into the groove of making this stuff. So
make it real so you can watch it.
I still feel like, the crotchety old man. I don't know. Might take a bit.
We'll put it up on Reels, that way you can watch it there.
Yeah, I'll put it up on Instagram, and you guys can see it there. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do it now, really quick, because while I'm thinking about it, because then by the time I put it up later, I'm going to totally forget about it. So anyways, all right, guys, we are going to move into our first segment, and I want to say that the production value, guys, we've got production value on our little show here, and I'm really excited to.
We got production. We'll see how valuable it is right now.
Oh, it's valuable. So it's time for some. Yes, geek news. Come on.
Yeah, you're right. Production value, right. Great value. It was great value. Production value.
You guys asked for the, and I got it for you guys. So
all right.
All right, moving into our first. Let's go. Boom. First news story here is Kevin Feige recently screened a trailer for the Loki season 2, and Jonathan Majors was not included or mentioned. So what this is that I don't know if you guys have both you guys watched Loki?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we know who he is in Loki. He was the timekeeper?
No. He was
or
Jesus. We're all blanking here.
Well, he was in Loki. He was just referred to as the one who remains.
He who remains.
He who remains.
Yes.
So in that he plays He Who Remains, and then
but we already kind of know now with Quantumania having been released, we know he actually turns out to be Kang the Conqueror, and so I mean his identity within the MCU is already well known.
Yeah, which in this story it says that they screened everything, but they didn't show the scenes with him in it, or even mention that he was going to be anywhere in the next season of Loki, even though it's already been shot and he is actually in it. So the story goes that Kevin Feige didn't mention it because in regards to what's going on with Major's his legal battle that he's having right now and legal
Right.
issues.
Right.
And but the story goes on to say that he is in season 2, and the idea of keeping him in as Kang is very, very much a possibility, unless he goes to jail.
Well, see, here's part of the problem, and not to foreshadow too much, because obviously, it's ongoing, and we're going to talk about it in just a little bit. But this is where some of the current writer strike it might actually work in their favor, because if they do have to go back and do something in post-production or what have you, I mean, this is the perfect opportunity.
Yes, this is true, but as far as what has been already made, or at least filmed and everything else, when it comes to this next season, it's pretty much locked in.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, as well, it's not there on the slide you made, but if you want, I can bring it up on the screen. I don't know if either of you guys have it up. I have it up on my end right now.
The story itself.
But yeah.
Yeah, I got it right now.
Okay. Well, I mean, it says right here in the article itself that at the post credits scene of Quantumania, obviously they teased his return coming back for the second season of Loki. It's going to be a variant. He's going to be he's not going to be Kang per se. It's saying that he's actually going to be portraying a character by the name of Victor Timely, which time.
But
they had to throw a dad joke at us.
But Kang being who Kang is,
yeah,
and the character that he was playing, he could potentially change his physical appearance.
Right, and if we're picking up from where Loki left off, we're going to follow the idea that He Who Remains was the last one in our universe that was the Kang variant. Mm-hmm. He could be several other variants for 10 seasons until they bring Kang back.
Yeah, and I mean, ultimately, that was kind of that was the story point in the first season of Loki, was that he was saying, because he created the oh God, what was the name of that?
TVA.
Yes, thank you. The TVA. He essentially started that to prevent other variants of himself from forming, from ever occurring. So at that particular moment, before we saw all the alternate, what we would now know as the alternate Marvel universes, he was the only one.
Yeah, to prevent the Kang version of himself from emerging. That's right. That's why he created the TVA to break.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and they even talk about it in the episode how they all of the different versions of himself basically were duking it out, for dominance over all of the timelines. So, I mean, and I'm not disputing what you had said, David. I don't know if it's so much that he was the variant Kang of our timeline, it's just of the timeline, because he had at that point had stopped any other version of himself from existing.
Yeah, it's hard to, because if you think about it time-wise, that makes perfect sense. But if you think about it as a multiversal, there's different timelines for different multiverses, you know what I mean? So and then with No Way Home, you kind of get that idea that everything's happening at once in different timelines. So they're still messing with us, we don't really know what's going on yet.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, them actually making a point of saying what the character's name in the second season of Loki, it now makes you wonder, so the Kang that we saw in Quantumania, and then the character that he's going to be playing in the second season of Loki, which one's going to be our version, like our timeline? Marvel 616 versus, one of the other ones. at least as of right now, 616 is considered the main timeline. So that's what makes me wonder is like, how are they going? What are they going to establish this character? Which timeline is he going to be coming from? Is it going to be ours versus something else? So it sounds cool.
Yeah, it leaves me to think. It leaves me to think that the TVA version of He Who Remains is more of a pawn, and Kang is still in the background controlling stuff and just giving us small tidbits of what's happening around him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's a very distinct possibility. That's a great point.
Yeah, so it would be easy for them to essentially write him out, bring somebody else in, and bring somebody else to play Kang himself. Or if they even filmed anything with him as Kang, it's probably going to be CGI. So it'd be kind of easy to cut that head off.
Yeah. I mean, look what they're doing with Luke in The Mandalorian. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Mark Hamill did none of those reprisals.
Yeah, it was some other actor, and all they did was just AI.
Which, well, no, it wasn't. I mean, they deep faked it. It was his voice.
No, yeah, that
it was cut from a bunch of old clips of him. He didn't actually.
They actually compiled the dialogue from old. Oh, I was unaware of, because last I had heard that Mark Hamill was actually there, and they relied on him to provide some dialogue and stuff like that. And then, of course, me personally, yeah, you could tell it wasn't actually, Mark Hamill, but like that was a pretty decent deep fake, I thought.
No, it was really good. It was, yeah. I mean, it definitely fooled me. I was like, holy crap. But it was really good.
It was good, but if you guys go back and watch the fan edit of the deepfake after that came out, it was so much better. And I think ILM actually reached out to that guy and brought him into the fold after.
No kidding.
I think he works for ILM now. Yeah, because he did it way better than what they did.
Wow.
Seriously.
I still think we should have just had Sebastian Stan do it.
But why couldn't actually, you know what? That would be a really good, that would be a really good stand-in for Mark Hamill right there. Sebastian Stan, bring him in to play like an early, do like the Han Solo movie, but with Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I saw people, superimpose Sebastian Stan's face over Mark Hamill's when they filmed Return of the Jedi, and it's really close, man. It's super close.
It's scary.
But all right, so moving on from this story to the next one. So you guys all know, and by the time this goes up, I'm sure the writer's strike is still going to be going on. We talked about this on the last episode and had a list of all the movies that were, movies and TV shows that are pretty much put on hold because of the writer's strike. And now it's affected the Star Wars universe again, with them hitting Mandalorian Season 4 is now been put on hold. The one thing with this story, though, showrunner Jon Favreau, actually came out and said, hey, so the script's already written for this season, but they're not going to start production. They're thinking that they're not going to start production because they're looking at a timeline of starting by, I believe it said September. So if the writer strike's over before that, great, boom, they're going to obviously jump into production. But if it's not, it's going to put this on hold, which it kind of sucks because they've got that momentum right now for that show. And to lose that momentum, it's like, do you guys think it would hurt the show? Or do you think it could easily extend out another 6 months and not even,
I don't think the momentum's going to go anywhere. Look at the time gap between season 2 and season 3. We got the Book of Boba Fett, and we got a little bit of Din in there, but it didn't do anything to cool the jets of what the Mandalorian started. You know what I mean? We're just going to be in a loop like Game of Thrones was. It's just everyone's going to wait for that next series or that next season.
Yeah,
Sorry, go ahead.
I have to agree. I have to agree with you, David. I think it's gonna it's going to continue to fuel the fire. I mean, hands down, I think The Mandalorian is easily Disney Plus's, or I should say Disney's hottest Star Wars property right now.
Oh yeah, by far.
I don't think it's going to. I don't think it's gonna slow down the momentum at all. And we have to remember that between now, I mean, the Ahsoka show is not gonna. They're not holding that up. That's still gonna release on current time frame. And I have no doubt that at some point there's going to be some crossover, much like they did with the Book of Boba Fett, with Din, appearing in a few episodes there. I honestly, I have to agree with David. I don't think it's going to slow it down at all. If anything, it's going to make people, that much more excited when it finally does drop.
Yeah.
Well, like you were saying, is that we're going to be in that holding pattern the way with Game of Thrones. And you did mention the Ahsoka show. Ahsoka is still coming on in August. It's on track.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to derail that. And then you still have quite a few other shows that are kind of like, so Andor, don't really care, but that's definitely on hold.
Yeah.
The Alkalites.
We already knew that. We already knew that.
Which that was one of them that was already on there. So, and then the Alkalites has no official word yet on when it's going to be finishing. If it's going to be finishing filming before the strike started, nor if it will be affected. So they still haven't said anything about the Alkalites, and that's another one that's been out there for a while.
Yeah.
Bad Batch 3 is that one still, they said it's even harder to determine Bad Batch 3 season 3's status during the strike due to the fact that animated writers are usually covered under the Animation Guild. So it's a whole different guild.
Yeah. However, I would not be surprised, and part of me, I get it, but I wouldn't be surprised if they were to, say, well, we're not going to cross the picket line, in solidarity with the Writers Guild, we're not going to work.
Well, that's what Neil Gaiman did with the whole Good Omen show, which he said,
with Good Omen. Yeah.
We're totally set to go, but I'm going to stand in solidarity with my fellow writers, and we're not going to start production.
Yeah, so, I think what Star Wars has on their side, though, is Jon Favreau is doing all the writing.
Yep.
And he's also working with Filoni, and from what I hear, George Lucas is stepping in and out of the scene, but not really doing any major heavy lifting or whatever. Plus, we've got that big Avenger-style movie coming out that's going to tie in all these shows at the end of it all. So there's no steam going to be lost. Like, we're looking at phase 1 of the Marvel Universe happening in a Star Wars realm. You know what I mean? So it's not going anywhere. It's just going to keep building, and the anticipation is just going to make it better.
Yeah. Now, I am curious, and I don't know if either of you guys have heard anything yet. What have they completely shelved the High Republic altogether?
No. So the 3 movies they are working on 3 movies that were announced. There's a High Republic movie coming out.
Okay. But then they were going to continue the story of Rey.
Yeah, that's the 3rd movie that's coming out. But it's more like I guess it's so many years after Rise of Skywalker, and now it's on Rey to build the New Republic Jedi Council. So I don't know how big of a role she's going to have in it, but she's definitely going to be part of that story.
Right.
And then, of course, the 3rd movie is going to be the Mandalorian universe tied up into a nice big, like, Avengers-style finishing dash or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, what I heard about as far as Rey, she's now become more of she's not in the starring role in that movie. She's now in a supporting role, which I'd rather see her in that. I'm sorry. I know Dennis says Star Wars is Star Wars, but yeah. No.
For me, I mean, that's my approach to it. I'm not going to lie and sit here and tell you that I think that the sequel trilogy was amazing. It wasn't. But I mean, I'm also not going to sit here and say, well, I'm going in with low expectations because it's Star Wars, and I mean it's so much a part of my, it's my childhood, and yeah, I've got the nostalgia glasses on. I'm not gonna, I won't deny that.
Dude, the moment I saw Rey, or actually, I take that back. The Force Awakens was done pretty good, and I was like, okay, all right, she's all right. And then it just kind of like, then came the second one, which, see, I don't even remember the name of the second one because I don't want to. Those nostalgia glasses weren't just ripped off, but my eyeballs were attached to them and pretty much came out. And I was just like, why? Why Kathleen Kennedy?
Well, that was Rain Johnson. That wasn't really Kathleen. That was all Rain.
That was
Rey. The Rey idea is all Kathleen. She's the devil.
I think Freddie Prinze said it best, man. You're just mad that it's not aging with you. And that rant that I showed you is probably the best thing I've ever seen because it definitely gave me a new perspective to look at Star Wars. Because he's right, Star Wars has always been made for kids. The first three movies were made for kids in the 70s. The second ones were made for kids in the 90s, and now this is made for kids in the 2010s. And we're just not kids no more, dude. No matter how much shit we collect, we're not going to be young again.
It's true. That's absolutely true.
No, but all the money I spent on all those toys and everything, that should give me some say in it. Come on, gee.
No. It's like what did the Harry Potter lady when she wrote the books and then came
J.K.
out.
Rowling.
Yeah, so when J.K. Rowling said, "Oh yeah, Dumbledore is gay," and someone messaged her and said, "I'll never buy another book. I'm gonna burn all your copies. That's fine. Do what you want. They're yours. I got your money already."
Exactly.
What are we gonna do if we stop watching it? We're gonna miss out on new content.
Yeah.
Imagine if you would have stopped watching Star Wars just because the 3 sequel movies came out. You would have missed all of The Mandalorian. You would have missed all of Book of Boba Fett.
I could have missed the Book of Boba Fett and been all right, unfortunately.
Well, I mean,
dude, he was on a Rancor.
I know, but the best was.
I'm saying that with a lot of sarcasm. No, Book of Boba Fett was
fighting
not
with him,
bro. It was not top notch.
He had Mulan fighting with him.
All right, moving on from Star Wars, moving on to something that I know that David and Dennis aren't big fans of it. I'm going to turn them into big fans of it, but Roll20 is getting a much needed, and I do emphasize on the much needed and very welcomed redesign. So for my double D's right there, I'm going to throw that in every time. I'm going to get it.
It'd be cooler if you didn't mention it after you said it.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry. All right. So anyways, Roll20, for those of you guys that don't know what Roll20 is, it's a way for those of us that play D&D could go online and play with other people everywhere and anywhere. And they've got a lot of great things like you can build the maps on that. You could move characters. They've got all kinds of seriously cool stuff with this app. And on top of that, you can actually download maps that are already been made for whatever D&D module that you're looking for, or even Pathfinder. But the problem with this website was it was hard to figure out how to do things. Great concept, piss poor execution.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody in the military made it.
Somewhat?
Yeah, I mean,
I said somebody in the military must have made it.
Yeah, somebody did. Pretty much.
I mean, even me, like the last time I played a tabletop role playing game was, back in the probably the early 90s when my older brother and I would play the Marvel role playing game, which was essentially played very much like Dungeons and Dragons, but it was just set in Marvel universe.
Yeah.
But even, I was still peripherally aware of Roll20, and I have seen the website before. I've some guys that are in my Destiny clan kept trying to start a D&D campaign, and he was, we can use Roll20. And I mean, you are absolutely right, man. The UI on that website was horrible. It was
Horrible.
horrible.
Horrible. Like, I literally spent. There's a video that's on YouTube that is literally. I keep using that word, but that was an hour and a half long to try to explain how to use and start a game on Roll20.
Yeah.
Watched the whole hour and a half, and all I was pissed more because I just spent an hour and a half watching this video and
And learn nothing.
absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing whatsoever. And what sucks is that so David has a son that's gotten into D&D. And I
Yeah,
even told him, yeah,
he's writing hella stories. He's still building out the world right now. So I've created hella characters just waiting for a chance to jump in and play this game. But you know, once he's done world building, I'll probably roll my dice for the first time.
or we can actually pull just somebody to be a DM for us and we can play because I've been wanting to do this for this show, but we'll see. We'll see. It might come. But we
Hey,
might be able to finally use Roll20.
give us time because he's watched. I don't know if you guys ever knew about the One Piece D&D. It was a bunch of nerdcore rappers and stuff that came together, and they made a campaign, and it was all done in the One Piece world. And he watched it from beginning to end. It just wrapped like 2 weeks ago, I think, and so he's on this like kick right now, trying to get his story done because he's in uh, excited. I don't know other words. Fill him. Let's go.
Well, so once he gets
Please
the
tell me
story done,
MC Chris was not part of that.
Who?
MC Chris?
No, it was Rustage and a couple other guys that are part of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I used to be a big fan of MC Chris. I don't like him anymore.
Now he listens to Rustage, Divide Music, Fable, uh, None Like Joshua, people like that. They're like really 20, 30-year-old kids.
total
So
nerd music. Nice.
it's good, man. It's better than
Dude,
the
so,
stuff that's on the
like, I'm
radio.
not even gonna lie, some nerdcore is really, really good.
Well,
Some
yeah,
of the
David actually
MC
played some of
Frontalot
it.
is great.
No, but David shared some of it with me, and I was like, damn, that's actually pretty good. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like MC Chris's early stuff was, I absolutely enjoyed it. I mean, Fet's Vet is classic.
Well,
Fet's Vet is
mine is
classic.
mine is oh my god, the guys that did the Goldberg song. Um, oh crap! Now I'm going to draw a blank on their name. That's really bad of me because I really like their stuff. But they're the guys that did the theme song for um, the Goldbergs. And you know what? I'm not even bother looking it up. But anyways, they're really good and they're nerd music. So, but for those guys out there, definitely check out Roll20 and see all the updates they have. There is a video out there on YouTube to be able to see the create or the CTO of the company talking about all the updates and all the really cool stuff that we're going to be able to use now that and not get all confused for over. So I'm really excited because I actually do have a subscription to Roll20, but all these updates aren't just for the subscribers. It's now available free to everybody. So check it out. Yeah, that's really cool. So moving on to a blank page, which means it's open to your imagination.
So I found some interesting information today.
All right.
So first off, Nintendo Switch Online is removing Pac-Man 99 services. I don't know if anybody plays those games, but like the 99 games have been a hit with subscribers because it's a subscription base only. Like if you pay for the subscription, you get Pac-Man 99, Tetris 99, Mario 35, which came and went because it was like an anniversary edition thing. But the problem with Pac-Man 99 was it had paid DLC, so people have dropped hella money into this game to get themes and like all this other stuff. And Nintendo Switch is like, cool, we're getting rid of it. Like, so you guys can still play offline, but the 99 stuff is gone. Like, the you're supposed to be playing against 99 other players, and as you eat freaking pack nuts or whatever on the screen, whatever you guys call those little blurbs, you drop things into the other players' games and then messes up their shit so that they have to work harder or whatever.
Oh, so it's almost like a Tetris battle.
Yeah. So Tetris 99 was definitely like that. As you cleared rows, you would drop, spots into the other 99 players' stuff. So Pac-Man 99 kind of did the same thing. As you cleared the
Got it.
Pac-Mans off the screen, you would drop stuff, more ghosts onto the other people's plays. But they're getting rid of that. So August 8th, they're getting rid of the version that you can download from the free shop or the Nintendo Switch Online shop. And then
Mm,
September 8th, they're just halting the services. And then October 8th, it's basically they're no longer distributing the cartridge at all. So
wow.
literally, if you don't jump on board before August 8th, you're going to lose all that content.
Wow.
Now, are they going to kill? Um, are they killing the online server for it, or will it still be accessible if you already have
No,
it?
so as of September 8th, that's when the online game services will be completely halted. So it's literally going to
Got
turn
it.
into
Okay.
just Pac-Man and no longer Pac-Man 99.
Got it.
So, I mean, if you've never tried it, probably give it a whirl before then. If you pay for an NSO, you might as well
Mhm.
try it. It's a free game.
I mean, it's $5 a month. It's like Game Pass, man. There's so much stuff available that is free,
Yep.
essentially. Might as
Yeah.
well.
So yeah, they're halting that service. So the only thing left is Tetris 99 of the three uh, subscriber-based games that were released for NSO.
Yeah.
In other news, Skyrim is getting a huge marketplace update, and people have mixed reviews because the last one crashed like all the mods that you can do for the game. And I don't know if you guys have played Skyrim since launch because I haven't.
I
But
haven't.
I
the
I
the
still
mods,
play
and
it.
that's
I
what,
still
so
play
you
it.
would know the mods are what get this game going because you can do whatever you want in the game now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the modding community for Skyrim has been just it's just unbelievable what some of these people have come up with. And I mean, that's console as well as PC.
Right.
Um, I mean, Skyrim, you can turn it into a completely different game through mods. There's the ability to do where you start at a completely different point in the story, and literally, it's a whole new game, even
Yeah.
with just that mod. It's called A New Life, is what that one is called. And you can, from there, you basically kind of pick your character build and everything like that, but you're not locked into that same stupid, Civil War storyline that Skyrim starts you off in. And then on top of that, there's texture packs, quality of life stuff. There's like literally upgrades to the character models themselves, where they either look more realistic, or if you're one of these weirdo guys who wants to run around with half naked women whose breasts are larger than their heads. I mean, it's just so much stuff out
Eugene,
there.
Eugene, we're speaking
Didn't
to
know you
you.
could do that. I'm on my way.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Um,
so that game is getting a huge marketplace update, hoping that it makes it easier, kind of like in the same vein that the Minecraft marketplace is. You
mm,
log in, you open up the marketplace, and you can just buy shit right there in the game, and
yeah.
then wait a couple seconds, it'll download, and then boom, it'll be available in game.
Which they
But
they actually already have. I mean, Bethesda has the Creation Club, which
mhm,
is some of it comes from the actual developer itself, but some of it is um, it's content that was created by fans that Bethesda then purchased from them and made it like official. So there
purchase.
is, yeah, exactly. So there is some of that already in game, but I'd be real curious to see whether it's kind of just expanding on that idea, or if, like you say, it's going to be more like the Minecraft marketplace where it's just page upon page upon page, as opposed to, well, we've got like this 6 or 10 things that you can buy for like $1.99 that maybe adds an extra quest, or
Right.
we got this armor pack or something like that, as opposed to what's available on the mod uh, forums.
Yeah, it's from what it sounds like, it's the same idea that's already in game, just expanded upon with more of a Minecraft marketplace feel to it. Just more ease of access, I guess. So here's
cool.
hoping
That
that
is
it doesn't break your mods when you jump back in after the update, Dennis.
Oh, that would suck.
I was
Let's
pissed
think
because I know
about
when I played the first time, I ran around with lightsabers as swords. So I played the whole game with lightsabers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, PlayStation has announced that on Free Comic Book Day, they're going to drop a comic for the Spider-Man 2 game. That kind of gives you a prequel into it. So I guess it's going to be free on Comic Book Day at your nearest comic book retailers. And they have officially released the remaster as a standalone download, so you can buy it without having to get Miles Morales, whatever the big pack was that you needed in order to get the remaster. If you already own the game, it's like $10. You just pay $10 and get the upgrade. So that's a cool feature. And lastly, PS5 Pro is all but confirmed. Looks like they're going to release that in late 2024. No real details about it, but dev kits are getting pushed out. First party gaming people are going to be getting theirs probably mid to late this year, and then end of this year they'll start pushing it out to the third party developers as well. So
Nice. I still won't be able to afford it, but nice.
if you haven't got it, you could save up for the Pro. It'll be $100 more, and you still won't be able to get it because they'll be out.
Great. So not only, I don't have to just save up for what is it? What is it right now? $600,
$5.99,
whatever it is, like $600. Now I got to save up at least $700 to $800 for it.
Yeah. Well,
So-
you'd have to save like $1,200 because you got to buy it from a scalper. So
Oh yeah, there you go.
Right.
So
yeah,
I'm never gonna get it. All right,
But
guys.
yeah.
So
that's video game news that I got.
that's all. That's okay. Sweet. So we are gonna move on out of this, but that was pretty much. So, yeah, that was geek news. We are now moving into a new segment that we're going to do, and we're going to try to get this done in the time that we still have left. We're still trying to figure out our timing on this and how to move and flow through this. So, without further ado, it's time for the
You count 1, 2, 10.
our geeky top 10. So, our geeky top 10 for this week is going to be 10 things Evil Dead's reboot did better than Sam's movies. Which I know this is for me, it's kind of like when I read this list, I was like, I don't know. And both you guys have seen all the movies, correct? Well, most of the movies, right?
Yeah, I saw all of them. The first two when I was really young. Army of Darkness I've seen several times. And then the newest Evil Dead, I didn't really care for it. I kind of like put it on and did a bunch of stuff while it was playing. There's no Ash, man. I can't watch it without Ash.
You can't. I mean, Ash was the driving force behind that. This whole series. Bruce Campbell is my ultimate favorite B-movie actor. I mean, just actor, because he's a great actor in all those movies and a lot of the movies he does. He knows what he's doing and he has fun with it. So
Yeah.
Number 10, it says that Evil Dead 2013 and Evil Dead Rise have even more gore. So I did see a good amount of Evil Dead Rise. I didn't get to finish it. I'm going to have to finish it. That's the latest one. And I'm going to say that, yeah, dude, the amount of gore that's in both of these movies supersede what was done in the original ones. The first ones were gory, but these ones are by far even more gory.
I don't know. I think the way Evil Dead was done, that the amount of blood you put in doesn't change what the story was. You know what I mean? Because it was the story beats that made it great.
I have to agree with that. I think honestly the reason for Evil Dead 2013 and Evil Dead Rise having going kind of over the top with the gore is because they can. I mean the ability to, I mean, just special effects have grown so much. It's advanced so much between when those original movies were made and now.
Yeah.
I think honestly, I think it was more just a matter of we did it because we can, not because we felt it was necessary.
And it's also the budgets of these two movies were pretty much all three movies combined of the originals.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
I'm going to say more like the budget of one of these movies, one of the reboots, was more than all three of the originals. So yeah, they had more money, so they had more special effects. So they did it because, like you said, they could.
Yeah.
Number 9, Evil Dead reboots have more consistent tone.
A more consistent tone.
Sorry, a more consistent tone. So
I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that.
Yeah, this one I'm kind of like. I mean, all the other ones had a consistent tone because it was obviously the Deadites. It was, it was Ash going against these guys, which, when you think about it, Ash was kind of in the damsel in distress position in the first one, because normally we would see, the female lead that ends up in the end fighting the monster and winning. And in these movies, it was Ash who actually came out on top instead of a woman, which is, it sounds total sexist, but still, he came out on top.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd say like Dennis. I don't necessarily agree with this. I think the tone in the other movie, I think they're talking story tone, where the consistency from the old movies is Bruce Campbell. Like, he is the consistent factor in everything.
Yeah.
Like, everything ties back to Ash. You know what I mean? The end comes back. Like, it's all about Ash and the Necronomicon and the Deadites and all that stuff. Even Army of Darkness, like, it all ties everything back to the other two movies.
Yeah.
Well, and the other thing that, at least for me, in my humble opinion, I mean, even with just the first Evil Dead, which at that point hadn't really, nobody had any kind of yardstick to measure from. They never took themselves so seriously, and obviously it showed. Army of Darkness was so campy and like really leaned into the the kind of the goofy dad humor type of stuff. And I mean, Bruce Campbell was perfect for that. But these reboots are, they're trying to be horror movies, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that. But I think maybe that's where people are coming from with this consistent tone. Oh, because it's a horror movie,
Well, what's funny, Dennis, is that every point that you just talked about and hit is every point in this top 10. Because next we have the characters in the Evil Dead reboot are taken more seriously. The camp of Bruce Campbell and the rest of the characters from it, which, again, the first Evil Dead, you're talking about two buddies, which is Sam and Bruce, that were coming together to make this movie with barely any budget, and they just found actors from like the Penny Saver and Craigslist, let's put it that way, and they came in to be part of this movie. And yes, it was camp. Now you fast forward to the more recent movies, and it's people that are in these movies that are actually actors and known actors.
Yeah.
So it's taken a little bit more serious. So again, Dennis, you like literally just destroyed this whole top 10 within that whole speech that you gave.
Well, and that wasn't intentional. My whole bringing that up. Sorry, not to harp on too much. My whole thing with the characters being taken more seriously, I don't know. Again, me personally, I don't know if that's necessarily that the reboots are doing it better. I don't think that should be a consideration, that the newer movies are better because of it. I think it's just one of the things that distinguishes the older movies from the newer movies.
Yeah, definitely. It's the same as comparing like Star Wars to the Phantom Menace. You know what I mean? You have Ewan McGregor, you have Natalie Portman, you have
Liam
people that are
Neeson,
well-known
you got-
actors,
yeah.
and then all of a sudden you're like, well, Han and Leia were just as cool, but it's it's apples to oranges. You can't compare them. Like
Exactly.
you have a bigger budget. People are expected something bigger, something better. So you have to produce.
Yeah. This
So
this
number
next
7.
point I
Yeah.
next point I do like.
So number 7, the Evil Dead reboots expand the lore of the Necronomicon, which it's true. They did expand more on the actual story of this book, how it was, I guess, basically how it was brought out, how it was brought about, and then in the Evil Dead Rise, it dives a little bit deeper into it even more. So we're learning more about this book that we originally found out about in the original Evil Dead movies. So, Dennis, what were you going to say before I move on? Because
No, I all I was gonna say was that at this point I definitely agree with.
yeah,
It makes for interesting. I mean, the lore itself of this book. I mean, it's a very central point of the plot, not only in the original movies
Did
but
he
these
freeze?
reboots. What's that?
Oh, you kind of froze a little bit on my end.
Oh, did I? Oh. Yeah. So.
all right, number 6, it says the Evil Dead reboots have actual villains. Now, I don't agree with this. Just because the fact that we know from the original Evil Dead movies, the villains were the Deadites. We actually saw a more embodied Deadite in Army of Darkness.
Mm-hmm.
To say that the reboots now have villains, it's kind of like, no, it's the same thing. They're just people that are possessed, just like in the original.
Yeah.
I think most people who watch the new movies and appreciate the new movies are not people who were introduced to the old Evil Dead movies first. You know what I'm saying? Their flag point or their point of reference is the new movies, and they're comparing the old movies to the new movies.
Yeah.
Where we're on the flip side of that, we have that reference of the OG movies, and we're referencing the new movies to the old movies, and it's, I don't know. Going back to that Necronomicon thing, the only thing I have to say is I kind of liked it being
A little
like,
bit more mysterious.
yeah, because it's like the Joker or Wolverine. You know what I mean? You don't know their backstories. That's what makes them appealing.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, that makes sense. You were kind of like, and the other thing is that they could change the lore a little bit per movie.
Yeah.
Where this, it's now going to stay constant of what that book is. But we are comparing apples to oranges with these movies. But the thing is that I do appreciate the newer ones because it is a bigger budget and the effects are a lot better and it looks freaky as hell. So, number 5, the Deadites are scarier in Evil Dead reboot. I'm gonna say yes because of the look of them, obviously.
Yeah.
Even though we
The
have
C-
the old ones that were still pretty scary too.
Yeah, the CG lends to more realism. CG and practical effects are always going to be a better win over straight CG or straight practical effects.
Yeah. And the actresses that they have in both roles certainly help.
Oh, hell yeah! Look at that picture of that. Oh God, I can't remember her name now. But when I saw it, she already looked sickly as it is. No offense to her, but when she became a Deadite, it was like, holy crap! She fully 100% was embodied. And again, number 4 right here is the special effects are more consistent in the Evil Dead reboot. They are. Again, we just touched on that subject. They're much more consistent. Dude, I don't know who that is.
What is it?
That buzz is getting real bad.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. Oh. Well, that just got rid of it.
You know what? It might have been Eugene the whole time.
It was my light.
Dang.
Dang, I was blaming him.
You're blaming me in my garage. Look at you.
All right. All right. Anyways,
Hey, he's working with a shop light instead of a ring light.
Right.
Freaking halogens over there.
So, anyways, the special effects are better. Obviously, we know that. We see that with the CG that's done. We see that with the makeup. We see that with everything that's being done in that movie. Number 3, the original Evil Dead movies are problematic, and the reboots fix this.
I don't know. I'm not sure in what way do they mean that they're problematic.
I don't either. So I'm going to kind of just be all like, they weren't problematic. They were actually really good. So we're going to skip that. Move on.
I mean, I'm wondering if that's from a socio-political stance where they felt like it was very misogynistic or exploitative or something like that. I'm not sure what it's referencing in that one.
Yeah, I know. I didn't see any real problems in the old movies.
Yeah, I honestly I didn't either. I mean, there, like I said, the role of Ash that Ash played was of the damsel in distress. So,
Yeah.
you know, next, this time it's not me. I'm hearing that buzz again. Number 2, and we're gonna have to do this one quick. Evil Dead reboots feel less cheap than the originals. I'm gonna skip over that one because that's kind of stupid.
It goes back to the bigger budget, bigger. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the number 1 is the Evil Dead reboots pull off the original film's vision better. I don't think
I
so.
don't agree. I don't agree.
definitely don't agree. So whoever made this list, garbage.
I don't agree either. Did Sam Raimi even have anything to do with these movies? Because it's all his brainchild.
I think he basically signed off on people using the creative license, but yeah,
Well,
I don't agree with this at all.
He did sign off on the first one of the reboots and said that it was done pretty well, and even Bruce Campbell himself also did a little cameo at the end of it, so he kind of blessed it off and said, "All right, you guys are good." So, all right, guys, we got to come to a close. So this was our very first.
You count. 1, 2, 10.
Geeky Top 10, guys, and that is going to do it for that. Pull that off. We are coming up on the end of our show because we got to keep it at only an hour. And I saw Lupe say, hello, Lupe. Sorry, we couldn't talk because we're trying to keep this at an hour. So with this, we're going to have to just call it quits. You guys got anything that you guys want to add to this show? We are going to get a handle on this. We're going to be able to do this in an hour without having to rush anything. We are.
No, we're not.
We will.
No, we're not.
We will. One of these days.
If we talk about things we don't like, maybe we'll get it under an hour. But we like too much things. So
that's true. So we're gonna have to figure out how to maybe do only 2 segments or 3 stories in our geek news, and then be able to move on if we're gonna do more top 10s, which we will.
It's not the bullets, man. It's the sidetracks. We always sidetrack.
We do.
Yeah.
We totally sidetrack. So, all right, guys. Before we sidetrack again, so we can be able to get our bumpers in on this show. It was great being on again. Thank you guys for listening and watching us. And, glad to have, of course, my 2 co-hosts with me, or my 2 my Twinkies.
Beetlejuice's hostess with mostest.
All right, guys. Well, that is it for us. You guys all have a great night. Continue to just dive into the geek kingdom or the geekdom and continue to watch those movies, continue to read those comic books, because that's what we're going to keep doing. So that is it for us here at the Geek Saga. You guys have a great night, and we'll see you guys next week, 7:30 on all the same channels. All right? Good night.